Well, as you see behind me, we've got some fantastic weather on the way. We've got what is going to be Hurricane Francine closing in on us very quickly. So we got some things we got to do around the homestead. So I thought we'd just make a fun video, talk about what we got to do to actually get our homestead hurricane or bad weather ready. Now, this is something that happens here, at least one time a year, typically 2 to 3 times a year. We're very awkward in where we're set. We're actually in between 2 power systems. So there's actually some work we got to take care of because we lose power out here all the time. We got to make sure that we're prepared for what's going on. So we're going to be getting everything ready, making sure that we're set to be able to sit for a week comfortably out here in case we lose power. But we got a couple things we got to take care of. Now, first things first is this bad boy. Thankfully, we do not have meat birds this fall. This is the first fall that we've not done meat birds. Just because of the way that our year worked this year, we decided not to do meat birds in the fall. We're gonna do maybe a double batch in the spring and then just kind of make like a weekend of breaking all those down. But first things first is typically this right here can fly off in a heartbeat. We typically have tarps that go over the top. This is basically just it's a dog kennel, if you will, but we typically do our meat birds, turkeys. I've put pigs in here before, and it makes a great mobile coop. It cost me about $350, and we've had it now for 5 years. And then really the big thing that we replace every year, every couple of years, is the tarps. You can see this one is just a little small one. We had some puppies in here, so we only covered a portion of it and kind of gave them the sunlight. But typically, there's 75 meat birds in here. So the first things first is what we would do is we would get this and then we would work it right here in this open spot of the barn. That way it's protected. We can actually, we'll stamp it into the ground. It's covered up underneath there. And it also means that it's kind of protected from the elements. The birds and animals and everything in there are kind of protected. Anything like a strong gust or anything like that, it's not going to completely blow it away. It might raise it up on its side, which will typically tie it down to make it a little bit easier on it. But it does make a huge difference having it up into here. This is kind of our first year having our coons in here. We're going to kind of run it by ear. This has withstood 2 years so far out here. As far as taking hurricanes, this will be its 3rd hurricane run through the area. It's done pretty well. You can see where it's kind of done a little damage up there on the roof a little bit, but we've kind of gone through, make sure we tap all those down. The pigs will pretty much stay up underneath the bottom down there. And we're just going to kind of keep an eye on them. I'm a little worried about the water. It's not the wind that I'm worried about. It's the water for them. But we've been putting them in here in this chicken area because, one, the chickens that we have are just not foragers. The chickens here are just not foragers. They definitely prefer feed. And so typically when we've put chickens in areas like this, by this point, they've been here for over a year, this would all be like mud by now. Unfortunately, these are not doing that. So we had the pigs in here to kind of start tilling this up a little bit, and they're starting to do a pretty good job in here. But we're just going to kind of keep an eye on this. We can lock everybody up if needed, up into the coop if it starts to get really bad. We see that we got tornadoes coming through. Eventually, we've got this high grass area here behind me. This is eventually where they're going to go. This is their next adventures. We're going to start putting them over here, and that way we can start kind of breaking down this high grass. This used to be crop rows, but we're definitely going to be waiting for after a hurricane season to kind of get through. She did not like that. So we are, kind of in hold a little bit on our homestead when it comes to the coons. Monty likes to just come and say hey to everybody. It's the homestead mascot right there. The dogs, since I got them here, most of our dogs are pasture dogs. We do kind of have 2 that free range a little bit. Motsy here and his brother Ramen, they kind of roam the homestead a little bit. And that's fine with us. Not every dog wants to be in the pasture. I'm not gonna, as long as they're protecting the homestead, they protect my garden, they keep check on who's in my driveway, and that's fine too. But most of our outside dogs will go into the barns. We'll kind of lock them up in the barns, make sure that they're good to go. The meeting of minds. They are, you know, they're really sweet. They do a great job around here. I want to make sure that they're protected. I do have 2 that will not go into the barn no matter how bad the weather is. They're going to want to be in the pastures, and that's Marla, and we call him Two-Face, or Twofers is the name you'll also hear around here. He's got a half mask on his face, but they're 100% pasture dogs. They don't like being inside. When it gets super nasty, they'll come up to the coverings right here, which you can see Two-Face right here. Hey, Two-Face. Hey. Two-Face. What you doing, buddy? He's not gonna move. We'll move to him. There we go. We'll move to him. But Two-Face right here, he'll probably come up here and they'll get up underneath the overhang right here. But they're typically very, very low maintenance dogs when it comes to weather. Now, the male that we've used to breed our Homestead dogs, he's a wuss when it comes to weather. His name is Sushi. Sushi will be inside for sure, probably in the next hour or 2. As soon as the first thundercloud hits, he'll be inside. He's just not your outside dog when it comes to the weather. What are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do in a storm? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He says, I'm gonna come hang out with you. You gonna come hang out inside with me? You gonna come be my hurricane party buddy? You gonna come be my hurricane party buddy? This right here is my buddy. You see? See that happy smile? That's a good dog right there. That's a good dog. Let's go take a walk around. Motsy, ooh. Oh, Motsy, underneath my feet. Motsy's gonna come with us though. Baby chicks are right here. They're good to go. If you missed that video on our brooder, here's our brooder. Still set up and ready to go. We can get some water out here for them. Let's take a sneak peek in them. Let's see how they're doing while we're here. You can have a sneak peek in there. Definitely need some feed. That area gets kind of nasty, especially when you got ducks mixed with chickens. Ducks are very nasty creatures. Probably the nastiest on the farm. People always talk about the pigs. The pigs aren't the issue. The ducks. The ducks are the nasty. The ducks and the geese. So next, looks like some animals have already been in here and messed up the feed room. Who was that? Who messed up the feed room? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Who did this? Who made this mess? Which one of y'all did this? Huh? No answers. But we're bringing in, but we are going to bring in all of the sheep, the goats. They'll all come in tonight and tomorrow for the next couple of days. We'll heavy feed them. We're going to go pick up some hay. I'm a little worried that we don't have enough hay for them. Ugh, it is nasty in here. This is what happens when the barn, this is kind of the one fault to our barn. The doors get split open and then they have it to where they can kind of sneak through the corners there. And that's what's happened. They've snuck in here and messed it all up. I'm on to you. Nadine. Here, we'll go in and we'll go check on. Let's go check on everybody while we're here. Let's see it. I know. So you can see all the chicken, I don't know the chickens. As you can see, all of the lambs, our goats, all locked up, ready to go. Now, our 2 cows will stay out in the field. They're he's not very nice. We kind of just let him be. She's easy to deal with. Patty's a saint. But Mr. Toodles, the bull, not so much. So we kind of let him be. He's kind of a jerk. Kind of like this guy. This guy's kind of a jerk. I know it was y'all 3. I know it for sure it was you 3 who messed up my barn. As you pee. They say animals have personalities. Ami, the brown one, and then, sorry to get you guys dizzy. Ami, the brown one, and then the black one, Misty. They are always into something. The term's troublemaker does not do justice. So I know what my rainy day chore is going to be. It's going to be cleaning out this barn, so it's a little bit more water. Chickens. Ooh, bow. Chickens. We got 2 chickens that are kind of taking refuge here in the barn. We kind of just started letting them do that. Honestly, we're now getting about 5 eggs a week from each of them since they've moved into the barn. So we had the pigs in here that were eating on all the pig food, and they were getting some good nutrition, I guess, probably off that pig feed. So I'm getting eggs. I'm not gonna stop the trend. I just want to keep my eye on them, keep them away from the dogs. Unfortunately, not all of our dogs are chicken friendly. Really, only one is not, to be fair. And then, why don't we go feed? We'll go ahead and feed our big pigs. They've got a large place to be. I don't worry about them as much. Lately, I've just been rough feeding the pigs. I was putting all the feed into feeders, and then all they were doing was just knocking the feeders over and wasting the feed. So, which is a pain in the butt. But what that's meant is every day I just carry a 50-pound sack, drop it in the pigs, let them eat. Overall, it seems to be doing pretty well. It's just a pain. I like things to be set up and done. This means that I have to physically come out here every single day and feed them up. I like systems where I can, come out here every couple of days and check on them. Gordon. Have you met my friend Gordon? This is Gordon. So you can see our pig area a little bit. We've got this big building here. That used to be our large chicken coop. They will have access into there to get away from the storm. Then you've got swing. Reverse, Jonathan. It's hard to kind of see it right there. There's a big metal building. It's an A-frame building. A little structure there that they can go into. And then all the way right there, that used to be a duck coop. But they have claimed it as their own. They can take plenty of shelter in there, all that they need. We just want to make sure that they got plenty of water. They got a nice full belly of food. They'll get fed again tomorrow morning before the storm rolls in. Depending on how the storm goes, I don't typically come out and feed. I'll just overfill the night. I'll go into the barn and feed, but out here, the pasture animals, typically I'll overfeed the night before. It's my method. If you disagree, leave it down in the comments. I'm not gonna be angry at you. But I don't go 2 days without feeding, but I'll go, one without I'll go 1 day without feeding if it meant that I overfed the day before, and I'll overfeed the day after. This is that area I was talking about though, where the coons are gonna go. All this was crop rows 2 years ago, and it's just kind of overgrown a little bit. There are rabbits in this mix, so it's not huge. If I can kind of get it up, and you can kind of see it a little bit. You know, a little less than 1/10 of an acre, a little plot right here. But all that needs to be broken down. Eventually we want to get all of that all the way up into this right here. This is where I believe the neighbors for us had a chicken coop or something right there. Maybe a greenhouse, I'm not 100% sure. It was broken down by the time we got here. But there's still one big task to do, and that's just making sure that we've got gas for our generators. So again, we can go a week without power out here, and that's a huge struggle. Our goal here in the next 10 years is to be completely power and water sufficient. So we're right here with our generator. I'm going to leave her right here for now. I know it works. We are going to have to go fill up fuel though. So we're going to go knock that out. I hope this helps. Again, I know it's kind of a casual conversation about it. We've been through bigger storms, so it's not very worrisome at this point. We've lived in Mississippi now for right at 7, 8 years. And so we've kind of, it's not our first rodeo with these hurricanes. Again, we just need to make sure that all of our P's and Q's are all lined up. And honestly, it's just once the storm gets here, we just kind of hang out. We'll come down to the barn. About every 4 or 5 hours, we'll check on everything, make sure nobody's flooding out. If we see that the power's out, we come down here, check on power supply. We'll check on things like, you know, whether or not the freezers are working properly, things of that nature. We've got too much money invested in them for them to not be working properly. And again, that's where that generator will go first. I wish you'd prefer it to go to the air conditioning when it's this time of year when we get a hurricane, but it'll most likely go to keeping these freezers and refrigerators running. Well, I hope that helps. My name's Jonathan. I'm the homesteading chef. I'm super glad you're here, and we'll see you, and we'll probably post some videos during the hurricane, and I hope this helps, and hopefully everybody stays safe. Have fun out there, have a hurricane party, and we're going to see you guys on the other side.